Since COVID-19, the U.S. Department of State has announced the authority for consular officers to waive in-person interviews for eligible applicants and kept it extended every year until the end of 2022 as a temporary measure to help ease visa backlogs following the COVID-19 pandemic. But don't get disappointed. For 2023, we are getting great news on the for no immigrant visas. The U.S. Department of State has announced an extension of in-person interview waivers for certain non-immigrant visa applicants.
Visit us at Swat&Vee channel with your questions to see how best we can help you out your process. Please don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel.
Now let's get into the video and find out what's new in U.S. immigration. The State Department, in consultation with the Department of Homeland Security, has announced a one-year extension of its non-immigrant visa interview waiver program for certain temporary workers, students, and exchange visitors, through December 31, 2023. The program was scheduled to expire on December 31, 2022. U.S. consulates are not required to implement these interview waiver policies but may do so as local conditions and resources allow. In addition, under a separate program that remains in effect until further notice, consular officers remain authorized to waive in-person interviews for individuals applying for a non-immigrant visa in the same classification if the individual's previous visa expired within the last 48 months. U.S. consular posts are permitted to adopt interview waiver policies at their discretion. They are not compelled to implement these policies. U.S. consular websites should be consulted to determine whether and to what extent a particular post is implementing an interview waiver program. Because U.S. consulates are not required to implement the new interview waiver policies, actual implementation of the program will depend on each local consulate. Applicants are encouraged to review the website of the relevant U.S. embassy or consulate for detailed information on currently available services, as well as eligibility information and instructions on applying for a visa without an interview. Under the visa waiver rules, applicants for F&M student visas and for academic J visas who have previously been approved for a non-immigrant visa to the USA and who have no apparent ineligibility may be eligible for an interview waiver. However, NAFSA Association of International Educators has highlighted to members that the Department of State Foreign Affairs Manual states that the waiver is not applicable to nationals of China and Nigeria. In addition, first-time F.M. and academic J visa applicants who are citizens of one of the 40 countries in the U.S. Visa Waiver Program, VWP, may be eligible for an interview waiver. VWP participants include most European countries, Chile, Japan, Singapore, South Korea and Taiwan. The authorization to waive in-person interviews for applicants renewing a visa in the same classification within 48 months of the previous visa's expiration was previously authorized by the Department of State to remain in place until further notice. At the Stakeholders Conference in October, a representative from the Department of State gave an indication that the interview waiver scheme for students would likely be extended, and said that it had been a particular success in certain consular posts, including Tokyo, where 50% of visa applications utilized the waiver. In September last year, a group of industry associations and stakeholders, including the President's Alliance on Higher Education and Immigration, NAFSA Association of International Educators, the Council of Graduate Schools and ETS, the administrators of the TOEIC and TOEFL exams, called for the interview waiver concession to be made permanent. In a statement confirming the latest extension, the U.S. government said, "The Department of State recognizes the positive impact of travel to the United States by foreign student and temporary work visa holders on the U.S. economy and is committed to facilitating non-immigrant travel and further reducing visa wait times. We are pleased to announce that the Secretary of State has made a determination extending the authority of consular officers to waive in-person interviews for certain non-immigrant visa categories through December 31, 2023. After a drop during the pandemic, the number of immigrants choosing to become citizens in the U.S. is increasing, according to a new study. More than 900,000 immigrants became U.S. citizens in 2022, the highest number in a decade, according to a recent Pew Research Center report. In addition to the spike in naturalizations, immigration levels and travel to the U.S. appear to be bouncing back. A different Pew report showed an increase in the number of people receiving green cards and an uptick in the number of tourists, international students, and other types of temporary migrants over the last year. This uptick in visa and citizenship approvals is likely to continue into the new year. State Department officials stated that the agency expects temporary visa numbers to return to pre-pandemic levels in 2023 due to the government's hiring surge and overall process improvements. The State Department has also rolled out plans to reassign and redistribute cases across consular posts to decrease backlogs and waive in-person interviews for certain visa types to reduce processing times. USCIS will also make internal process updates in the year to come. In their 2022 progress report, USCIS rolled out plans to improve its operations in 2023 by implementing premium processing for more petition types, reducing biometrics requirements for certain application types, and simplifying several common forms to reduce processing times for work permits, adjustment of status, and naturalization. Now, let's look at the National Visa Center, NVC, Immigrant Visa Backlog Report as of December 2022. The Department of State has had a very difficult time processing immigrant visa requests since the COVID-19 pandemic began in March 2020. U.S. embassies and consulates are working to resume routine visa services on a location-by-location basis as expeditiously as possible in a safe manner. However, the pandemic continues to severely impact the number of visas our embassies and consulates abroad are able to process. As of November 30th, there were 411,359 IV applicants whose cases were documentarily complete at NVC and ready for interview. Number of documentarily complete IV applicants scheduled for December 2022 interview appointments is 33,406. Number of eligible IV applicants still pending the scheduling of an interview after December 2022 appointment scheduling was completed is 377,953.
I hope you guys found this video extremely helpful. If you know anybody that could benefit from this information, definitely make sure to share this video with them. We are all about empowering you with knowledge. So the more people that can benefit from this video, the more people we want watching this video. If you like this video, please make sure to hit that thumbs icon. Thanks for watching. And don't forget to subscribe and hit on the notification bell for more immigration updates. Bye!